and welcome to the channel. My name is George and today I'm going to be watching season 3 episode 4 of Young Royals. Last episode, the school underwent an inspection and Felice was one of the students that they interviewed. We didn't see her interview though, so we're left on a bit of a cliffhanger about whether she was truthful about her feelings towards the school or whether she did what everyone else wanted her to do and say nothing. I hope that she did tell the truth and spoke about the microaggressions that she experiences as a person of colour in the school. But I wouldn't blame her if she didn't say anything because no one was really supporting her in telling the truth. So, you know, it could really go either way here. Sara is going to be making her return to school, presumably this episode. She turned up to the ceremony that they were holding and everyone saw her there but no one spoke to her. But when she returned home, she said to her dad that she'll be going back on Monday. I don't know if that means that she'll be moving back in there or just returning to school. I don't think she's quite ready to move back in. So I think she'll just be starting to attend classes again. But that should be very interesting this episode, seeing her return to class and how everyone reacts, if Felice decides to speak to her, if Simon decides to speak to her as well. Oh my god, the end of the episode though. Their house had had a rock thrown through their window and that was scary. I really thought that something had happened to his mum and I would have rioted if something had. But this has got to mean that they're going to like move house, at least be taken to temporary accommodation or something. That's so scary. They can't stay there anymore when people know where they live, because then you'll just be living in fear all day every day. And we already saw last episode that Simon seemed like he was withdrawing himself. He seemed a lot more reserved and quiet and like he was losing parts of himself because of the pressure in the public eye. And then there was more pressure added because he reposted a lovely picture with a fan. It was such a nice interaction, and then Villa got a call and said that he has to tell him to take it down, and then he spoke to him about it and it's like, oh, for God's sake, he can't do anything that he wants. And it sucks so much that Villa is the one that has to say it. I say this every single episode, I know, but I just still don't know why he is the one to do it. And it's a shame because there were some moments last episode that were so lovely between the two of them. When it is just the two of them in their own little bubble, everything is fine, their relationship is great. But it's external influences that create tension and that cause them to miscommunicate. And it's just such a shame. She was in the room when it happened. Whoa, she's lucky it didn't hit her. Yeah. They're being forced out of their own home. No, don't cry. But I would too.
Hur Jag vet inte. 14 år. Inget sånt här har någonsin hänt.
Oh, you know why it's happened now.
Hade det här hänt mig så hade de betraktat det som ett hot mot landets säkerhet. Och du är min kille, så...
Could the palace not move them somewhere?
Mamma har pratat om att vi kanske måste flytta. Prata med hovet. Okej, jag snackar med dem. Det måste finnas något de kan göra. Okay?
To be honest, I wouldn't put it past someone from the royal court having done this to try and oust them out.
Vi failar big time.
Ja, du lämnar också in provet efter 30 minuter.
Do they still get to graduate if they fail?
Vad tänker du? Ja, vi måste göra något stort. Något liksom större än namninsamlingen. Något som får dem att ändra sig.
What do you have in mind? I feel like he'd go really out there in the bad neck of the woods to try and fight back. Oh. August, don't talk to her in front of Felice, please.
Så går kampen mot aristokratin. Den är jätteknasig.
Fighting for workers' rights
Alltså,
is weird.
blir det inte någon intressekrock för dig?
Vad är det med mig som provocerar dig så mycket? Är du homofob? Eller vad är grejen?
Problemet är inte att du är gay. Problemet är att du är kommunist. Förstår du?
But it doesn't seem like you know what a communist is.
Fan vad du är patetisk.
He might have become the worst character in the show, honestly.
Du svarade aldrig på Vincents frågor. Om du är emot monarki.
We know he is. He said it in
Tycka
season
om dig
1.
och vara emot systemet. Fast kan du det?
He doesn't see you for your title.
Vad är det du tycker som är så bra med monarkin?
Det är Sveriges historia. Alltså, vi är en av världens äldsta monarkier. Situationer som kungahuset har löst för att regeringen inte kunde det.
Allt du säger går att göra utan att någon föds till att göra det. Utan att folket får välja. Inte ens fått ett eget val. Vad är det för liv?
Being born into it doesn't mean you can't be against it either,
Det är ett
realistically.
privilegium, inte ett straff.
You tell yourself that.
Författa ett brev till ett framtida jag.
Oh, I hate these kind of assignments.
Och det här är för att motivera er. Vad hoppas ni på?
Villa can't have hopes. I think he knows what's in his future, really, doesn't he?
Inte bli bättre. Det är det bästa.
Disagree with that, Sozan.
Sara!
He's the only one that is approaching her. It's so sad.
Så glad av att se dig på valborg. Och nu också.
Var du nog den enda som blev det.
Literally.
Jag har teoriprov.
Nej,
Jag ska ta körkort.
fan vad kul. Hejdå.
He is so happy to see her. And I keep finding it cute. It's so conflicting. I need to stop.
Ni behöver hjälpa Simon. Ni får skicka dit Säpo eller någon vakter eller någon. Någon har kastat en jävla sten genom hans fönster. Han är ju livrädd.
Okej, jag ser över det.
Does that mean you will do something or not?
Drottningen är inte i skick att medverka på kungörandet. Vi vill inte att det ska börja spekuleras.
Men vadå? Är tanken att jag ska göra allting själv?
Nej, det har beslutats här att det bästa är att skicka dig och
We're together. But it goes from bad to worse.
Jag ska bara hjälpa dig, Wilhelm.
What exactly have
Okay,
you done to
fine.
help him?
Då vill jag att Simon följer med på min födelsedag.
Okej.
The sigh that she gives.
Det var ett pojkstreck som polisen tror. Men för att vara på den säkra sidan så skulle vi
It's
kunna
not
ordna
random,
ett
though, is
tillfälligt
it?
boende åt er.
Har funderat på att vi borde flytta till Göteborg, kanske.
He looked happy at the prospect of them moving to another town, didn't he?
Kanske är det ju inte optimalt att bo i markplan med fönster åt olika håll. Det gör er sårbara.
Vi ordnar skjuts åt Simon till och från skolan. På Hillersta, där är du ju trygg. Och sen har ni det här numret till Säpo. Och det ringer ni så fort ni känner minsta osäkerhet. Mindre du syns just nu, desto säkrare är du. Inga inlägg på sociala medier, inga kommentarer.
Well, finally they're having this conversation with him. This is what you should have said in the first place. Maybe then he would have listened.
Egentligen är det bäst att du bara raderar dina konton.
Okej.
Okej? Bra.
It's not a great situation, but when it comes from them it feels different than it coming from Villa.
Skitsamma, det är ju många som inte klarar det på första försöket.
Jag fick 64-65.
Wow.
Vad grym du är.
She hasn't even been learning for long. How?
Så jävla stolt bara. Halva körkortet fixat. Det här måste vi fira.
Maybe he doesn't have to delete it. Can't he just private it? I hope he saved the photos at least.
August kommer där. Jag kommer liksom inte palla det. Om inte du är där. Teman som stiftelsen kan ha. Konst och kultur. Ungt ledarskap. Åtminstone välja någonting som du brinner för. Något som betyder någonting för dig. Något som kanske har med... Eller något om HBTQ+. Alltså förstår du vad du hade liksom kunnat göra och vara med och förändra?
There would be an uproar if he did it though, wouldn't there?
Det funkar liksom inte så. Vi ska inte ta ställning. Bara att folk vet att jag är kär i dig gör ju skillnad.
I get why he doesn't want to do it. I feel like I forget a lot of times that Villa has only just come out. Like, he gave that big speech and he came out to the public. There's been a lot of focus on how it's affecting Simon's life now being in the public eye, and because Simon and Villa are acting so freely in public together, like kissing in the corridors and stuff, I forget that Villa has only just come out. So of course he doesn't want to suddenly be advocating for queer rights all the time, because everything that he's done has been hated on and scrutinised, and it's affected Simon so much as well. And his mother, it seems, the stress has potentially attributed to his mum's illness too. It's his birthday. He'd probably rather just not draw attention to their relationship for once and be able to celebrate his birthday as best as he can without having to worry about doing the right thing or how people are going to view it. If he chooses something easy and traditional as they're expecting him to, then his birthday could go off without a hitch, essentially. But if he chooses something out of the box, something political, something that he has to fight for to have it as the theme, that's going to create more stress for him. He already has it looming over his shoulders that he's going to have to do this by himself, and he could potentially have to take over the throne very soon as well. It's all getting too much. And at the same time, there's this big focus on traditional this episode. It feels like that word's been mentioned a few times already about how traditional the monarchy is, and he's saying that that's why he likes the monarchy. I think that's the only reason he can really think of, to be honest, and that's why he's saying it. And so he's trying to uphold their values and keep to that because it's the easy life to just keep it traditional.
Det får bli idrott, Elsa.
Det här är alltså era framtidsbrev som ni skrev till er själva i ettan. Nu skulle jag vilja att ni skriver en reflekterande text över innehållet.
Oh, I wonder what they wrote. Well, mostly August.
Hej, Triona säger att det är samling i stora salen. Nu, så att om vi kan...
Hallå?
Tystnad!
Vincent doesn't quite have the stage presence.
Jag vet att alla här inne är lika trött som jag på de nya reglerna. Att vi berövats vår student. Men idag så är det slut med det. Vi kommer strejka. Och vi ber er alla att joina oss.
Hackar på mig varje dag.
Att visa solidaritet.
Och nu ska de demonstrera.
So when he does it for what he believes in, it's something to be made fun of. But when they do it, it's fine.
Inte förrän rektorn lyssnar på oss.
Jag hade inte haft något emot att få tillbaka min mobil. Kunna ringa dig på kvällarna.
Bara så du är på deras sida. Så du kan bara vara solidarisk när det inte kostar dig något.
Simon. Hallå?
You have to say something, one of you. That's too awkward, sitting in the same room and not speaking.
Vart är alla?
De strejkar.
Va?
Så är det jättebra hemma hos pappa. Som jag by the way inte haft någon kontakt med på flera år, även fast jag har velat. För din skull.
Vad är resten av klassen?
De strejkar.
About that Simon and Sara scene, I feel a bit bad for her now, but I'm happy that he was able to express that.
Det här är helt oacceptabelt. Gå genast tillbaka till era lektioner på en gång.
Vi kommer sitta här tills skolledningen lyssnar till våra punkter.
Vi är öppna för samtal.
Exakt. Det enda vi kräver är att reglerna lättas.
I feel like it must be so embarrassing to be a teacher when a student doesn't listen to you. Kind of getting second-hand embarrassment.
Så serveras det ingen middag. Och stäng skolcaféet och köket och lås dörrarna till elevhemmen tills de gör. Okay?
She's playing hardcore. I hope he's eaten.
Simon, välkommen.
Du får 100 spänn. Va? Jag swishar 200 spänn.
What a crowd.
Fuck me, om jag hade förstått att det här skulle bli en hungerstrejk så hade jag inte ställt upp på det här.
Nej, inte jag heller. Det skulle ta så här liksom lång tid.
You thought she was just gonna fold instantly. That was a bit naive.
Jag tycker att det finns något nice med att vara lite hungrig ibland. Motivation. Som att det tystnar i huvudet bara.
No, you just have an eating disorder, August.
Ätstörning.
Verkligen.
Is that the moment he realises? Simon actually looked worried, even though he hates him, yet his friends just laughed it off.
Läs brev. På riktigt. Men vad fan? Sluta!
I'm so intrigued about what he says.
Alltså jag orkar inte bråka nu.
Jag heller.
Tycker olika.
Ska inte det vara en bra grej?
Different opinions can help each other grow.
Lär du dig saker när du är med mig?
Jo. Jag vill aldrig såra dig, Simon.
300 spänn.
Simon, snälla.
Is crowns a slang term for krona?
1900.
Oh my god. Oh, what?
Så det här har ju spårat.
Yeah, I mean,
Imagine if the school inspection would have seen this.
Alltså, jag var bara ärlig.
Men vadå, du sa någonting om invigningen? Men förlåt, alltså är det på riktigt nu?
She told the truth. You can't have expected her not to do that.
Du har varit jättedeppig och så, men du kan liksom inte ta ut det på alla andra.
It's not up to her to save the school or lie to save the school in particular. God, their backs and neck must hurt. Nothing like the morning sniff of the hair. He fell asleep hugging the chips.
Jag ger inte vika för utpressning, Vincent.
Ja, men ingen behöver ju någonsin få reda på att det här har ägt rum. Om ni bara lättar lite på restriktionerna.
Ni får tillbaka era mobiltelefoner. Yes! Endast användas utanför skoltid. Okej? Okay?
Studenten?
Den slänger vi också på.
I'm shocked it worked.
Svälten är slut. Nu äter vi.
Wow. I thought nothing would come of this.
Jag läste. Okej. Att jag gjorde fel. Och att du antagligen aldrig kommer förlåta mig. Och jag får lära mig att leva med det. Jag vet att jag är väldigt tacksam över att du var min första riktiga vän.
That's a really nice thing to say. I'm glad she's not trying to excuse it anymore.
Jag vet inte ens vad jag ska ge honom för present.
Ger inte honom bara något personligt?
Ja, och vad ska det vara?
A song?
Skriva en låt då?
Ja, men
Det är ju personligt.
det kommer ju hovet verkligen att tycka om.
Nej. Sen när bryr du dig om vad hovet tycker?
You don't even have to perform it in front of them. You could do it privately.
Vi vill väl bara inte att du raderar dig själv. Det är bara det vi säger.
Again, I don't know how this is going to be resolved though. Like, the best I can think of is Willa abdicating the crown, but then that still doesn't mean they can be free to do whatever they want, does it?
Du kände inte Erik. Alltså August, han hade hatat dig om han visste vad du gjorde mot mig.
Att du kände Erik fullt ut.
August, jo, det gjorde jag visst. Jag var ju för fan hans bror.
That doesn't mean you know someone completely though.
Erik var allt som du inte är. Allt som du inte klarar av att vara.
I think Erik was painted out to be the perfect brother, the perfect person in Villa's eyes. But that's probably who he was when he was at home, when he was around the crown, when he was the crown prince with his family. But you're a different person with your family than your friends, or at least I know I am. Not completely different, but your friends see a completely different side to you. And August and Erik were friends. He's bound to know things about him that Villa doesn't. Like, he's not... Well, Erik isn't going to tell his darkest secrets to his 14-year-old brother. You know, I know he's 16 now, but I'm just talking about when he joined Hilerska and made friends and stuff. He wouldn't have spoken to Villa, and he would have lived at Hilerska as well, so he wouldn't have been home all the time. There's bound to be things that August knows that Villa doesn't, and I do worry about what he does know, because I'm worried it might have something to do with the gay porno thing. But Villa can't stand there and say that August doesn't know him, because he doesn't know what he knows, and he doesn't know Erik completely either. He only knows what he has seen and experienced of him. You don't know a person unless you're with them 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And even then it can be hard. But I think as well, because it's coming from August, it just feels like a situation where August has the upper hand, so Villa is going on the defensive again. Like, you can't possibly have known him more than me because you're mean and he wasn't. And I'm sure Erik would have hated August's actions and the hurt that it did cause Villa. Even August isn't disputing that, but Villa just can't accept that August and Erik were close and he might know more about him than he does.
Den där invigningen.
Oh no, he actually was involved.
Erik och hans treor var de som höll ur.
Wow.
Erik var där.
I don't know if he'll believe that.
Det är inte sant, det ljuger.
De tog oss till palatset, klädde av oss. Så sa de att den första som får stånd får spö.
That's disgusting.
Garvade åt vår panik, för vi förstod inte om de skämtade eller om de var allvarliga eller... Erik var där.
August did say to Villa last episode when he was trying to get him to sign the petition that he was doing this to help him. Maybe that's what he meant. Save Erik's name being dragged through the mud or something. I think that's my favourite episode of the season so far because most of it was set at Hilaska and we got a lot of tense interactions between characters, what with Sara returning to school and that scene at the end. Ooh. I am starting to feel a bit for Sara and August in a way. Sara is making an effort to separate herself from August. He's doing the opposite. He's not being overly with it though, but every time he sees her he gets so happy and he's so excited to talk to her. But she is still restraining herself and running off as fast as she can. She knows she fucked up and she probably does want to get her relationships back. That will take time. Felice seems like she still wants to be friends with her, and I absolutely hated that scene with Felice and her friends, and it looks like she will be the first person to forgive her, but that makes sense because it wasn't even really a betrayal for Felice, was it? Felice is kind of mad on Villa and Simon's behalf, and if I was Simon it would take me months to forgive her probably. She really did betray him and he doesn't look like he's anywhere close to forgiving her. Even her actions since then have pissed him off because she's gone to live with their dad who he wanted contact with but he never did because of his duty and love for her. But then when she was given the opportunity to screw him over, she did it. And yeah, he was just so there for her their whole lives. She didn't have his back the same way he had hers. It's such a big betrayal. I won't be able to get over it. I'd never trust her again, that's for sure. But I do hope that Felice and Sara can start growing closer again, especially after that scene with Felice's friends. They're just so different to her. Felice is privileged and she acknowledges that, but she also has a moral compass, and it's so funny to think of how much I hated her at the start of the show. I remember distinctly hating her. Everyone was saying, oh, you'll grow to love her in time, and I was side-eyeing like, and I love her so much because she really did grow as a person, especially over season 1, and then since then she's just been a queen. Her friends asking her to lie for the sake of the school and calling her selfish for it. No, they're the selfish ones. She was honest. If she had lied, it could have put her in a compromising position. We don't even know. Because lying, saying that there aren't any initiations is absolute bullshit. They will know that initiations go on, but they just don't know how bad they get. And especially as well, considering other students gave interviews, we don't know if they told the truth and said that there were initiations. So she could have got in trouble if they found out that she lied. You know, she did the right thing. And if her friends can't see that, fuck them. Like, I've never really loved her friends, I'll be honest. I quite like Maddie, but the other two, I've never really cared for them. They're not really in touch with the struggles that other people go through, and they just kind of care about what affects them. Like, I really hated that comment in episode 2 when they met Simon's friends and they were like, you haven't been to the US? As if that was some absurdity. Like, how haven't you been to America? A lot of us haven't. We're not rich enough, sorry. Like, why is that so blasphemous? The sit-in scenes were good as well. I thought it was quite entertaining, and I didn't expect it to work. I was surprised that she actually did come around in the end. Part of me feels like she could have something else up her sleeve though, because she's quite scary. She's certainly a teacher that I would be intimidated by, that's for sure. At school and now, because I'm still as weak to authority as I was then. I gave my thoughts on the August and Villa conversation at the end. I think Villa is wrong to assume that he knows Erik completely, because we all hide things from people. I don't think I could say that one person in my life knows everything about me, besides myself of course, and even there are probably some things about myself I don't even know as well. You can never 100% know a person, so Villa, he has to accept that. Maybe his brother wasn't the person he thought he was, and it shouldn't change his memory of him, because if he only experienced good times with him, then that's that. You know, he's still gonna love his brother, but just accept that he didn't know him completely and he did do some disgusting acts to people. I'm surprised that August loved him so much. He said that he really loved Erik, but if Erik put him through that, I don't know if I'd love that person or even see them in the same way again. I understand that they probably grew up together, but that would make it worse in my eyes. Someone that knew me, someone that I was friends with, they put me in that position. It's more of a betrayal than just a stranger. And also that scene with August saying, but don't you like it when you're a little bit hungry, and you use it as motivation, kind of exposing his eating disorder there. And Simon actually picking up on that and saying it, and he looked worried for him. And then Niels and Vincent just laughed. That looked like a wake-up moment for him, like, oh, is that what it is? He had one of those moments where it's like, oh, we all do this, right guys? And then it just wasn't the case. No one does that. You realise it's not normal, it's an illness. I really hope we get to hear what he wrote in his letter. That would be interesting. He's being very cagey about it, so I want to know. I'm so thankful that finally Farima and Jan Olof went to see Simon and his mother and had that conversation with him about his social media use. That's not why they were there, but I'm thankful they mentioned it while they were there, because he needed to hear it from an official. It's not ideal for him to have to do that, and I really hope he saved his photos, but it doesn't seem like he did. He didn't seem very happy to do it, but he did it because they asked him to. So they should have just done that in the first place, told him to limit his social media usage, but whatever. Don't know why it took 4 episodes. And hopefully they can put them up somewhere temporarily, somewhere very nice temporarily. I don't expect them to do some 3-star hotel, only 5 stars for us. And hopefully they'll look after them, because they should be treating him as one of their own now, because he's dating the Crown Prince. 2 episodes left. I'm excited. I think we'll probably see Villa's birthday party next episode, how that's gonna go down. Hopefully it goes well for him, because it's his birthday. He should be allowed to relax a little bit. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching my reaction to season 3 episode 4 of Young Royals. If you want access to my uncut reactions, the link to the Patreon page will be in the description below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time for episode 5. Bye.
I like 'em sweet but naughty, dimples on the cheeks, I bet you taste